What an amazing morning, and what just absolutely spectacular. I'm just lost for words. Brilliant, brilliant conditions. Sun just about right. Loch Slapin, still as a mill pond. Lovely bit of cloud over the coolings. Just reflections are amazing. So I'm a happy chap this morning. So I'm in the middle of those who don't know the area. I'm in the middle of Skye. This road that runs behind me here, so um, runs up round Loch Slapin and down to Elgol. I'm not actually going to Elgol. I've been there lots of times, and it's probably over photographed. Um, but I've come just to make the most of this fantastic scene. I thought when I left the house this morning, there's another loch on the road here. I thought I was going to stop there, but as I left the house, I saw how calm it was, and immediately thought, right, I'm coming here to hopefully get the reflection, helped by this amazing kind of orangey yellow seaweed on the rocks. So I've got a composition that is making the most of this reflection, but also some of this kind of yellow seaweed. I've got my polarizer in to take some of the sheen off the water and darken the blues in the sky, and I've also just dropped kind of a filter in to take some of the brightness out of those clouds just on the top of the cooling. And I'll just show you the composition. The midges are out. Actually, it's quite cold, relatively cold this morning. It's about 6 or 7 degrees so far, so keeping the midges down a bit, which is a good thing. But I'll try and show you the really. I just wanted to give you the idea of. I'm just kind of using a little bit of that seaweed here in the corner. I'll try some different compositions, but I'm just using a little bit in the corner, and then that white house over there. That white house, I'm using that just in the bottom corner. The reason I'm using that is to give a sense of scale, so that you have an understanding when you look at the image of the kind of the size of the hills. Because if you obviously see the house, then kind of it gives you something to rate the mountains against. So I'm going to take some images, and I think I'll wander along the shore a little bit. I might go. At the moment, the composition's got the seaweed bending that way, and I might go just further up so it's bending that way towards the mountains. But I like this composition, but I might like that one better. And the tide's coming in, so got to keep moving. Can you hear the sheep? Noisy neighbours. So I've moved a little bit away from the camera. I've moved along the shore a little bit, just to get this sweep in. But the challenge I've got a little bit at the moment is the sun is right behind me, so when I'm taking an image, the sun is appearing in my shadow, sorry, is appearing in the foreground. So because I've got a kind of wireless connection to my camera, I've moved away just so I can use my phone to take the photos, and I can also see on my phone what I can see through my camera. It's quite neat. I don't use it very much because it's a bit gimmicky, but actually I would typically prefer to use a remote shutter release, because it does run the battery down quite quickly on both the phone and the camera doing this. But the shutter release is in the car, so I just thought I'd be lazy and give this a go. The sheep are going for it big style. So I'm taking a few shots here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one more. Taking the shot. There we go. Taking the shot. I'm looking for a nice submerged rock to give me some kind of really nice foreground kind of interest. So I'm going to try and take, if I can find a rock under the water or a nice bit of seaweed under the water, get an image of kind of under the water and above the water, using a polarizer to kind of cancel out the water, as it were. So going to try and wander around and find that now. So I found a rock just here, and actually there's some nice kind of seaweed in the foreground here. So I'm shooting across the loch, but at a low angle. I've got my tripod almost as low as it'll go. I'm trying to avoid the tide's coming in, so I'm trying to avoid my filters getting in the tide. But I'll try and show you. It might be quite hard to see, but what I've got is all this seaweed in the foreground, and then obviously the mountain. Still using that house for a bit of scale, and the seaweed and the loch are taking up the bottom 2/3, and then I've got the top third, the mountains and the sky. But I'm shooting on f11, so I'm doing some focus stacking. So I'll show you how I'm doing that. I'm focusing on the sky. Just bear with me a sec while I get that focus right. Focusing on the sky and exposing for that. So that's giving me about a 25th of a second. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to focus on that house. I'm using back button focusing, and the house exposure is giving me about an 1/8 of a second. And then I'm going to focus on, there's this big rock here, I'm going to focus on this rock, take that, and that is also about an 1/8 of a second. So what I'll do in Lightroom or Luminar is then blend those together, so I've got the you know, the maximum kind of sharpness from front to back. And I did a video about how to do that and the techniques using Lightroom and Photoshop, so I'll put the link in up there somewhere for that video if you want to know how. But I have to keep moving because the tide's coming in. I'll try and show you on the GoPro, but if you just look at this, you can just see the tide creeping up. I don't know if you can see that. See the tide creeping up this rock. Look, there we go. Look at that. So it moves quickly, and I'm going kayaking out in the sea later, so I'm looking forward to that. Got an audience. Everyone's a critic. So I think I got the timing about spot on. So kind of high cloud has come in now, so although it's still spectacular, there's not the same kind of colour or light on the mountains, but also because the tide's come in, it's covered up that beautiful yellow seaweed, and the yellow seaweed is really attractive, but the shore as it is now is quite unattractive. So timing is everything. So if you come to this location, check the tide times, because it's not going to be as good if the tide's in to get foreground interest. So hope you enjoyed that trip to Loch Slapin. I'm off to do some kayaking. Hope I don't drown.